I'm Caleb. Please like and subscribe.
Well, welcome back to another Crypto Bros
And a Holly Girl.
podcast. Caleb, you're going to talk about crypto today?
That's Josh's
We're going to
job.
do a little... all right. Never
No,
mind.
I want Caleb to do it today.
Wait, Holly can.
Holly can do it. Holly
Just
can
hold up
talk
your
about
notes.
it.
Oh, man.
Hey, before we get
I
started,
feel like
though,
we have so much.
let's talk. Let's let the people know exactly kind of what's going on here. So we did have a guest booked. Kind of a family thing popped up. We're hoping to get him rescheduled. But so today we don't have a guest. It's just going to be the four of us chatting, kind of like it was. How many of these we've been doing together?
This
Are
is...
we like 10?
11th.
11.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I can't believe Holly
But I
could put
wanna
up with us that
say-
long.
I feel like just us, it's only been like maybe 2 times. This may be the third.
Yeah.
Because like the first and second time was for sure just us.
Yeah.
And then I think we started having guests after that.
Every time, except for this one.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
we interviewed you, then you became part of the team,
Yeah.
and then we've had guests. You know, we were shooting for
Ever
guests
since.
like once, maybe twice a month, and then it's just like it's a good problem to have,
Oh,
but
yeah.
we've had a lot of people,
Yeah.
and next week's guest will be a lot of fun too. But just so everybody knows, sometimes family happens, and we are a family first type deal. So there's no hard feelings there. Already let him know. He's trying to figure out his calendar so we can get him on, and it'll be a good conversation.
A little bit of hard feelings. Oh, sorry.
I
Go
can't
ahead.
hear you with these headphones
I know.
on. So you can talk all the smack you want, and I won't even know.
Good.
But before we get started, I don't know how well you can see it, but we actually were lucky enough to win a giveaway, and we got SafeMoon Knight sent us his what's it called?
Batarang.
Batarang.
You should throw it at the wall.
So we threw it at the one chip challenge box, and that's what it's stuck in right now. So I don't know how well you can see it, but it's there. And if you want to see it up close, you can go to our Twitter and check that out.
You should throw it at the wall.
He's still talking, and I can't. I'm gonna have to do this just so I can like hear.
I'm
Greg
whispering
talk
just to
smack.
paranoid. Just to make you paranoid.
But we did want to issue an apology to everyone involved in the crypto world for the one chip challenge, wrecking the markets. Closing exchanges. We're all in black, partially because in mourning of our
Always in
taste
black,
buds. But it was fun, but it sucked, and I don't ever plan on doing it again.
It was bad.
and I think that every taste test challenge from here on out will pale in comparison to that.
I hope.
Because
I'll put that
Holly,
check-
is your tongue still blue? No.
No.
All right. Mine either. So honestly, though, how long did it take everybody to start feeling back to normal?
I felt pretty good the whole way through.
Shut up, Greg.
Right. Here we go bragging once again.
Yeah. She could have killed you. I shooting the daggers at you.
I know, that's
through
what
the
I
Zoom call.
That's when I ended it because I knew it was going to get
Greg's
bad.
like, oh, it's getting real bad, real bad. How long did that last for you, Holly?
You know, in all honesty, it lasted a good 2 days. Like my stomach was not right for 2 days. It just hurt. And I had this weird like heartburn, indigestion or something going on that didn't seem to want to go away. And it would get worse when I was laying down. So nighttime was definitely the worst part for me. I ate like damn near a whole bottle of Tums.
Oh, wow.
And it was not helping me. Yeah, I was like calcium
Ugh.
was at an all-time high. I'm pretty sure of it.
Bad.
Yeah.
Probably that scorpion or whatever it was.
Yeah,
Scorpion pepper.
or the Carolina
That'd be a
Reaper.
scorpion.
Yeah, I would just say that it took me a few days to get back to normal, but I could tell I was going to get back to normal. But I highly not recommend, how do you say that? I would not recommend trying that too. And if you are unsure, do not put that in your mouth.
Right.
That's going to
Right.
come out in some sort of a meme, I guarantee you.
And if you have
But-
an enemy, put it in his Dorito bag.
Oh, I could only imagine eating that and not knowing you
Not
ate it.
knowing.
Could you
Yeah.
imagine that?
Whoops.
That would be horrific. But
Buddy, you want
Yeah,
some
no,
Doritos?
that's such a bad like Yeah, karma would be really bad if you did that to somebody.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah, it would be real bad.
Yeah.
But,
Sorry.
so we also wanted to give you guys kind of we've sort of mentioned it, but we haven't been able to tell the whole story, and this is kind of the way our lives work. So sorry about getting you involved in this, Holly, but the
Surprise.
studio is going to actually get bulldozed. We found out, 2 weeks ago, just out of the blue, after we remodeled and got it exactly set up the way we wanted it set up. The guy that owns it comes over and he says, "Hey guys, just so you know, we think we're selling this land and they're going to build a Dollar General where this building's at." And we're like, "So this building's going away?" He's like, "Yeah, it's going to get bulldozed."
Great.
So we are in the lookout of a new studio location.
Maybe we'll
So
just do
things
it in
will
a
be
Dollar
changing yet again. But that's just kind of how life goes, and we just roll with it. So we just figure it'll end up
adventure.
being, it's an adventure, and it'll end up being for the best. So
Caleb loves adventures.
I love it.
if you see us talking about it or joking around about something like that, or the bulldozer shows up, you'll know what we're talking about. So, but yeah, that's just kind of how things go, and it is what it is, and we'll be better for it. It'll be all right.
Oh yeah. It'll all
Greg will figure out something. We'll get a tent or something.
a tent.
Yeah, we'll just have it on a tent.
Yeah. And now that winter's coming.
Let's buy an RV and drive around
There
and
we
just
go.
do it.
There we
Go to
go.
Arizona.
We'll park it in Holly's driveway.
Yeah.
Oh,
That would be fun. Yes.
For a couple days.
Pickle Bros RV on the side. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yes, and I love that idea.
We're going to need some more
All right,
green
let's do
candles
it.
before we can afford that.
Hey, you guys have got an RV parked in front of your.
Yeah, I don't even know if it runs.
Well, I mean, there's
You
only
talk
one way to
to-
find out.
That thing costs more than your house.
Well, it's right there.
All right, so let's get into the crypto talk for the day, because there's a lot of stuff going on. I actually have 2 pages of notes, but we're not going to go through all of it. This is just as a reference sheet, but you can't look at it, Greg.
I was like, holy cow, that's
But-
a lot.
I can't remember all of this stuff. I had to print it off. So, but that's not the first thing. So we'll get into it. But FTX. So it went solvent. People that are in this space know this kind of the story of it. But there were calls on cryptos, and they couldn't pay them. And then it was kind of like an old-fashioned bank run. And it's just not a good look for cryptos in general. There was a thought that Binance may buy FTX, which would have made them, like, I think somebody said 10% of the market that they would own, which would be huge in this space. But then the last I read, that fell through. But
Yeah.
a lot of those candles that we're seeing now, and they drop in price, has come from uncertainty. It's come from, and this kind of leading the way. You know, the biggest battle I feel like we fight all the time is legitimacy of the crypto market. And then everything, something like this happens, we have to start over, it seems like. People that have been in it for a long time are like, it is what it is. But along those lines now, these crypto exchanges are putting out, and I had to put it on my phone, but they are putting out their proof of reserves. And so I came across one that I wanted to share with you guys, and some of you by now may have seen it, some of you may not, but crypto.com put theirs out. And their net worth is $2.9 billion, okay, which that's a lot of money, that's a lot of zeros. But what I found interesting is, out of that, 31% of that is in Bitcoin. Okay, that seems legit, right? That seems like,
Yeah.
we can get behind
right.
that.
Yeah.
So Holly, have you seen this? Have you seen the one?
I
I'm
have
talking
not,
about?
no.
So what do you think their next biggest holding is? If you had to guess, Bitcoin being their first,
I mean,
31%.
Logically, I feel like it would be Ethereum.
Okay,
That would
that's
be my
number 3
guess.
at 16%.
Don't tell me it's something like shib.
It is.
Yeah.
You nailed it.
Yeah.
They 19.85% of their holdings, which I did the math, is like $585 million is in SHIB. Which
Wow.
I don't guess that's a bad
that's-
thing,
No.
but it shocked me. I was like, wow. So now I'm
told you to buy
really
more SHIB.
stoked to see everybody's proof of reserves, because I'd like to see what they got.
Yeah.
Then on the flip side, you were talking about well, maybe that's going to help legitimize SHIB.
Oh yeah.
I mean, because that means there's been a lot of transactions on their exchange.
I told you to buy more
Yeah.
shit this morning before you told me that.
I know you did, but I don't like to give you credit.
I actually have a whole lot of shib. I have a friend who was like, Holly, you've got to get to this set goal. I'm telling you, 1 year, you're going to be good. And so I was like, okay, so I got to that goal, which is a lot. And we're already past the year.
Yeah.
Oh, well, hold tight,
But,
Holly.
I love my sheep. So
Yeah.
sheep is kind of like another Doge for me. I feel like
Mhm.
one day it'll get there. So
That
I think
dog will
that's
be
the
let
one
out.
that's going to surprise. We all have SHIB too, so I think that's going to be the one that surprises us.
Yeah, because people think, well, Doge already did it. There's no way Shib is going to do it. The same thing, and then it will.
yeah.
It will.
But you know what's funny is like, is there ever going to be a day where we go into, a store and be like, oh, do you take Shiba Inu? They're like, Shiba? Like,
Well,
just
maybe.
as a currency, I can't see, it actually being a thing just because it's a dog.
Well, AMC adopted it, and
Yeah.
there's a local
Yeah, I
car
know.
dealership that accepts it.
But don't you think too, though, that's how that, like the SafeMoon cards and things like that, that's going to help with that, because nobody's going to know what you're actually paying.
You know what? Yes.
So
Yeah, I think you're
that's-
absolutely right, because you don't have to tell them what you're paying with. You just pay,
As far as I
and
know, it's a
you
credit
in the
card.
background will select which one you want to
Yeah.
use. So yeah,
And I think that's a huge thing. That's why I will be super excited whenever that comes out for SafeMoon, because
Oh, yeah.
I will use that.
oh my gosh,
Even if it's just the BUSD that I get in reflections off certain tokens, or if I sell reflections of tokens and turn it into BUSD, that would be a great way to, how do I say this ethically, to be able to spend DeFi money without it ever touching my bank.
What do you mean, like
No,
hide
I'm
it from
excited
what?
for that too.
You?
Oh,
Hiding it from you,
I'm
Greg.
trying to hide from the government or
I learned
something.
about watching you.
Uh-oh.
Great, now it's going to get shut down.
Oh,
I better edit this out.
But let's go back to FTX real fast, though. So we talk about doing things the correct way, the right way a lot, and being kind and ethical and things like that. I think this just kind of shows you now that goes all the way to the top, even to the exchanges, too. That also shows some strategies of not keeping a vast majority of your portfolio in an exchange. There was a ton of rumors flying around about countries lost millions in Bitcoin and this and that, and most of them have been defunct by now. El Salvador being one of them. They're like, no, we didn't have anything in FTX.
You got it in a volcano.
But think how scary that would have been. If a government would have bought all of that and it went to nothing, when do you think the next government's going to step up and buy Bitcoin? So it just seems like it's delaying that. But anything to add to that whole FTX fiasco before we move on from any of you guys?
No.
No,
good.
you're over
No,
it?
other
over it.
than
Yeah.
so, Sam,
Yeah.
I don't. What is his title? Is he the CEO?
think so.
What is Sam?
Yeah.
Okay, so he had if you guys want a good laugh, he had posted on Twitter, I should say, because we're not on Twitter right now, but on Twitter he had posted an apology and said, sorry guys, I effed up. If you want a good laugh, go to the comments, because he was like, but he's people are like posting, but he said he was sorry. Like, it should, who cares if he owes $650 million? He said he was sorry.
Yeah.
So if you want a good laugh, go look at those comments.
Yeah, I've actually have looked at it. It's pretty insane, and it is pretty funny.
Yeah.
And I also saw, and this probably isn't funny to anybody else, but it was to me. There was kind of a timeline of pictures of him, and you could see him aging over like the last year. And that usually happens when there's a lot of stress. So we can proceed and pretend like they didn't know. At some level, when you're talking about that many zeros, you have to know that things aren't balancing.
You would think.
And I think
would
that they kind of were praying and had their fingers crossed that nobody would call on their investments because the market was down. Nobody would sell, and they would be okay. And by the time it rebounded, their other investments or whatever they did with all the money would be able to cover everything. But it did not work that way. No. So,
nope.
No.
But on to more positive things.
Oh, good.
So SafeMoon came out with an update that for the swap went V3. For me, it came out of nowhere. I was not expecting this. But they introduced something called the tokenomics supervisor. So that's where the second page of notes comes in, because I didn't want to misspeak, and you can find this on their website and click on the link. But basically, here's the 2 points that they make in this, and I'm just going to read it for anybody that hasn't heard it, and we'll talk about what this means. It says that this patent pending invention operates in 2 steps. One, it's a token registration. As partner tokens register with the SafeMoon swap, the system notes that they need to be supervised and documents what is missing from the fee rules for buy-sell transactions. And then 2, in the token swap, it says that as the token swap, the supervisor checks and loads the fees against the registration requirements and manages the corrections, even in the cases of multi-hop transactions and when multiple token types are involved. So, to break that down, they're going to be able to control the fees that get kind of out of whack whenever there's a lot of transactions going on at the same time. Kind of my biggest takeaway from this too is a lot of old contracts don't have tokenomics involved in them. They would have, maybe it's not a reflectionary token. This would actually give them the opportunity to do that with the fees, to put that into a wallet that they designate, that they can actually do whatever they want with, but they could use that wallet to reflect it to their shareholders. In doing so, that brings some life to some tokens that maybe don't have it. But I cannot help but believe that this has something to do with glow talks, because I believe in the steps that they are taking.
I know.
How can it not?
Right.
What do you think about that, Holly?
Oh, I think you're so spot on. We've tried, we were talking to Gandalf yesterday along with cats, and we tried to, throw that in there, and we got hit with NDA. So to me, I think that we're all on the same page and on the right track of what's going to happen. I am so dang excited, because I don't know if if everybody really realizes the caliber of this, like how big this can actually be. So I'm hoping it is. You know me, I'm not like the speculation type, but holy crap. I'm really excited for all of this, because it opens doors for everything that SafeMoon said they are doing, they are going to do. This opens that door to the realization that this is happening.
Right.
So yeah, and yesterday, I forgot to bring this up, but you hosted a 10-hour space on Twitter. And so, first of all, I guess congratulations are in order.
Right, like it's an achievement.
I mean,
what's like the
but is it
Twitter space length? Is there a record? Like,
well, somebody fell
hours?
asleep during one time, and that one might have lasted 10 hours. I don't remember who that was now, but
should go for
no, there's been, you know what? So, in all honesty, I have been part of probably the record spaces.
I can believe
back,
that.
When SafeMoon first was, it was like maybe a month old. There was a handful of us, Brian included, and he was my co-host yesterday. So we used to fight FUD. I mean, there was, war on rugs that we were fighting. There was, the Doge community, aka David Gockstein, that we were fighting. And literally with this space that we had with David G, it went on for 36 hours. We fought him for 3 days nonstop. I kid you, like,
wow.
Right, no, and the funny thing is, we would literally split, we would almost like take turns, because it wasn't just against David. It was, David and company that were just going. So we would all really take turns to sleep for like 3 hours, and then we'd come right back to it. So
wow,
that was a real thing. As much as people are like, no way that happened. Oh, I was there. Wow. I witnessed all of it. I was part of the FUD fighting group because we were trying to get SafeMoon, for people to realize that SafeMoon is legitimate. And this, we believed from a month in, like we knew this was going to be a thing. And so, to get back to the tokenomics supervisor and all of SafeMoon, this is like such a huge win for us because we've done this. And yesterday's 10-hour space was just literally because we consistently had over 100 people in there wanting to listen to what we had to say. And granted, the conversation was, it was all over the place. I think we touched on every little thing you can possibly think of. I mean, including praying mantis and rocks.
Oh, those are good too.
Yeah, I mean, there was one part during those 10 hours, I think it was like 6 hours in, where they started talking about country music, and we fell below the 100, and we're like, okay, this might be our way out. But then like things happened. Gotti came in, and I have to tell you, Mindy stayed there damn near the entire time.
Yep.
Of that space, because she would be like, okay, we can start to kind of dwindle it down or whatever, and then something would happen and we would go off on a tangent on another conversation. So it was literally for the community, because there were so many people that were wanting to hear what we had to say. So
yeah, and what's hilarious about that too is I got in at the very beginning of that, and you guys were kind of like, yeah, guys, come up and talk, and because not that you were struggling to find things to talk about, but there was some dead time, and so I went up and had conversations with you. I left. I spent 4 hours at basketball practice and doing other things, and I texted you and I said, Holly, is this a good time for a chat? And she said, I'm still hosting that space. And I was like, what? And I went on Twitter and I was like, sure enough. And that thing lasted another like 4 hours after that. So, but during that talk, Dan was on there, and we were kind of talking about the exchange and what this meant. But he brought up a good point, which I had thought about, and I guess I'll tell you my answer after what his point was. But his point was, what if, when they introduced this, it was already going to be compatible with the exchange, which makes complete sense to me, which is what I kind of figured all along was, if you're going to launch this, which we have no idea when the exchange is coming out, but time frames, we're getting close to when that should be happening, right? I mean, if you believe anything that SafeMoon says, we're getting very close. So why would you launch this and it not be compatible to the exchange? So I think that that's something that's huge, which also makes me believe that it has something to do with glow talks. I don't see how it doesn't. It doesn't make sense to me in that at all. But during that time, so they went V3, and everybody had to take the liquidity out so that they could change, I don't know, all the behind the scenes stuff in it. But then slowly, like Glow just got theirs in this morning, I believe. Some of them were same day, some of them were later in the day, whatever it may be. But X Studio decided not to put their LP back in. And I guess they're going to be, at least right now, exclusively in Pancake. Which is completely up to them. Sure. As a company, they can do whatever they want. They're, not to get completely off on a negative tangent, the way they exited it, though, kind of left a sour taste in a lot of people's mouth. Part of what was being talked about on your space yesterday for a little bit, which I commend you guys. I don't know, was that being recorded? The space?
Not officially on Twitter, but Brian records everything.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That sounds like Greg. But it's. I thought you guys did a really good job kind of keeping it in check, letting people talk. People are frustrated. I have yet to listen to the space that he was on that got real negative. Partially because I really try not to get involved in those sort of things. I find when What's that?
No drama.
Well, I find when I get involved in those sort of things, it just makes me mad, and I can't do anything about it. You know,
Right.
my words aren't going to change Ron's outlook on things. But
Yeah.
I know some people took that very, very personally. You had a huge sell-off. I believe at one point I saw yesterday it was down 70%. I hope I'm
Yeah.
not misspeaking, but I'm pretty sure I saw that on Twitter. So there were ramifications of what went down. But
Well, okay, so I want to kind of clear it up a little bit
Sure.
because I don't know the full ins and outs of it, but I saw everything that transpired. So I don't know if there was conversations prior to or what exactly how this all went down, but the reason the CEO was upset is because there is somebody who did a massive sell. I'm hearing, I know that they're saying it was about $120,000.
yeah,
So with the liquidity being what it was, it really tanked the chart. It was at 8-ish cents, almost 9 cents. It tanked it down to 2.
yeah,
It was like 3, really low 3. And then once people see that happens, like holy crap, $120,000 just got liquidated from TXS. People started selling what they could.
right.
Because it does cause fear and uncertainty. So when the CEO saw that, that is what he was really mad about, is the fact that somebody sold that. I think he had misinformation about who it was or whatever the case may be. That's the part that I don't really want to get into because I don't know for sure what he knows, and I don't know if we'll ever know because it really is nobody's business at this point. This is between how he wants to do it. Now, how he conducted himself was not the best.
Excuse me.
At all. For a CEO to be that way, I don't think that was great.
You can
But
appreciate the
that's
passion.
that's his own business. If that's how he wants to run it, people can either like it or hate it, and that's on you. But I think I really want to put it out there that we have friends who are still invested in this, because either A, they believe that it's still it's gonna do something, or B, they are in really heavy and got in more towards the 8-cent mark. And so right now, especially, and I'll just give you an example myself, I got in pretty late, more at like the 6-ish, almost 7 cents mark. And so I staked the same day this all went down. So now if I unstake that and sell it with that tax on top of it, I am so lopsided on, I've lost a lot. So, I think it's important that people need to keep in mind that I know you may be upset about what happened, but do what you got to do for yourself and move on. Don't keep pounding it. Let this kind of die down because people, just being negative towards it or, talking to the CEO the way that some of the community members have been and stuff, you're causing people to sell because they are scared. And you're hurting your friends.
Yep.
That really is what it is. You are hurting people by being this way. Let people make the decision for themselves, not base it off of your emotions and what you're putting out on Twitter or against that CEO.
Yeah, and when they're selling scared, a lot of times they're selling it at a loss. I mean, that's just the facts of it. It's like you put in $1,000 and it's worth 500, and you're like, I'd rather have 500 than nothing, because that you get scared and you freak out a little bit. So, yeah, I'm with you 100%.
Yeah.
And there's a tons of rumors out there on who sold what and this and that. We're not gonna feed the rumor mill or anything on that, but. Back on to point, so that did happen. I mean, and everybody's aware of it. A lot of red X's went off my Twitter feed. But you're right. A lot of people's friends are still invested in this, so we kind of have to be careful. And if you trash one project, even if it deserves to be trashed, it's still part of the crypto domain, the community, that now we have to rebuild trust in again. And with what happened
Well,
with
and-
FTX, that we're starting not over, but we're still now we got to lift that weight again. So go ahead, Holly.
Well, and I feel like, one other thing that I think the safemoon community in particular, because that's the ones that are really upset. And because, the things that were said and the fact that they were on the swap and chose not to go back on the swap. So there's like a lot of emotions on the safemoon side or the community side. But one thing we have to remember is just remember how you feel, how, people who used to be community members are now not, and they're flooding safemoon.
Yeah, it's the same
It doesn't
thing.
feel good to you.
Right.
But the fact of the matter is those people may have got burned in some way to make them feel this way. So it's really no different, at all of those fudders compared to how you're being part of the community against X Studio. There is a big difference, or there is actually not a difference. There's a similarity, big time.
I agree with you.
So
100%.
you don't want to be those cutters, you don't, because remember how it feels.
Yeah, there's a thousand projects out there that I don't believe in, that I can't see the future of. I can't understand their roadmaps. I don't agree with maybe that. I don't just post about it and go, well, I think these suck because I don't understand it or I don't believe in the guy behind it. I just don't buy it.
Right.
Everyday life, we vote with where we spend our money.
Right.
If somebody treats you bad at a restaurant, you can go put a review on Google or whatever if you want to. But what really it means more is that you don't go back and spend more money there. And it's the same thing here. Why FUD projects that you, aren't invested in? Why do that, especially when your friends have money invested in it? And so I think you're 100% right.
Yeah.
Don't become the problem.
Absolutely. Which I think is kind of what we've always kind of said in a roundabout way. But going back to that, so the V3 comes back live, people start reseeding. I think X Studio is the only one that didn't, unless I'm mistaken. I think everybody else did. I saw before we started filming this that Glow had reseeded. Some of them, it takes a little bit longer. You're moving lots of zeros around, and so you want to make sure you do it correctly. But if they're not all reseeded, I think they are all planning to, besides X Studio. So, excuse me, this will be the good test of what's to come. Like, now that this is happening, if this is tied to the exchange, which I don't know how it's not. Okay, this is my opinion. There are lots of exchanges out there. Right?
Oh,
Lots.
yeah.
I don't even know how many of them. Way more than I ever thought there were when I first got into the crypto world.
Oh, yeah.
But what makes you want to use a certain exchange? Well, now SafeMoon has a patent pending product that they can have exclusively that can help some of these tokens that could get more people to use the exchange. Because when we're talking about SafeMoon and it getting big, we're talking about we want the volume to be there. Well, if we're going to have volume in the exchange, we're going to need things that attract people to use that exchange. So, and I believe this is just the beginning of that. So I think people should be super excited about it.
The best is yet to come.
Agreed, 100%. 100%. Speaking of that, so we keep hearing, and this was talked a little bit in your space yesterday, but we keep hearing
voices in his head.
I'm gonna stick that one chip challenge thing down your throat. I can't hold you down.
Gosh, don't do that.
But we keep hearing bull market, bear market. We're almost done. We're almost out. This and that. And as a guy that likes to have a good time, and we don't get super serious on this podcast a lot for a reason, I do study charts a lot. Probably I might have a problem. Okay, just being honest, I might be addicted to studying the charts.
You're a numbers guy.
Well,
I am.
me and Caleb knew you
I
had a
got the
problem.
calculator out all the time, crunching numbers.
Oh my gosh, he does.
So,
all the time.
I really wasn't going to go into this too much until a guy I heard talk about it that I really, really respect, and most people in the community know, Brian. He was speaking on this, and we were matching up completely. So I just thought I would throw out an opinion, see what your guys' opinion was, and then we'll kind of move on there. But I believe if you go back to the charts and you go for the extended view of it and you start looking at the Bitcoin halvings, I believe that we probably haven't seen the bottom yet. that we're probably looking at a couple more months. I don't know how low that's going to go. But then we're going to be looking this spring, April, May, March, possibly, where things are going to start rising. And there's going to be some chances to make some money. And I truly believe that we're going to be trading somewhat sideways for 6 to 8 months, something like that, okay? Not an exact date anywhere. But then you're getting closer to that halving, which should be starting, they don't know, I don't have an exact date. It has to do with hash rates and things like this. But we're looking in the spring, early spring of 2024, that I believe if you take the charts and you look at it 3 to 4 months before that is when the bull markets usually start to go.
I feel like you need a laser pointer, and we need. Like
I do. We need like charts and stuff up here. I'll write it on your face so people can see it.
If you'd see this.
So for those of you that don't understand the charts or don't study them or don't care, that's cool. I'm not trying to get anybody to buy whatever, whenever. That's not the point of this. But I do think that patience is going to have to win out if people out there are going to want to make the money that they're wanting to make.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that if you can be patient, there is a chance to make some money in the spring for probably a 2 to 3 month period. You can still make money when things trade sideways, but it's really hard to make money on tax tokens when they trade sideways, because you always have that percentage that when you buy sell. So even if it's 10%, if you sell and then you buy back in, there's a 20% swing there. In a sideways market, it doesn't usually swing that high and low.
No.
So you'd want to try to make some money before that. But if you can be patient and you can hold your holdings and whatever that looks like to you, whether that's 100 SafeMoon or that's 100 million SafeMoon, I think when we start to get back into that, our tone, Twitter's tone, the Space's tone, the Army's tone will be completely different at about this time next year. I mean, so what do you guys think? That's just my opinion.
Caleb,
I hope so.
what say you?
That's all I say.
My opinion is it's never predictable,
Okay.
and things can change when you least expect it. So
Yep.
I'm one that, I mean, it's good to kind of forecast, but I never bank on that, because everybody always forecasts and it never seems to go the way people want over and over and over again. So
I think there is lessons to be learned in historical data, though.
yeah,
But I agree
it's
with
good
you.
to see patterns.
That's why I
but-
don't think if somebody tells you the bull market's going to start April 21st of 2000 whatever,
Right.
okay, that's probably wrong.
Probably wrong.
You can't be that exact with
No,
it. But I
no.
think that you can look at historical data, and there are other things to take into consideration though too. I mean, just the economy in general. You know, and
Right,
the last
world
time we had
events.
the
world
bull,
events
Yeah,
change
and-
things too.
and the last time we had the bull market too, that was kind of COVID. That was stimulus check money. That was people cashing out 401ks. There was a lot of things going on that don't normally happen.
Right, sitting at home bored.
Yeah, why not
Yeah.
invest in Robinhood or whatever, on your phone,
Right.
where a lot of people
GameStop,
got
okay.
started. But Holly, what do you think about all that? Do you have an opinion on that?
I think you're right. I have been hearing, I have been hearing a lot about 2024 being the year of the bull run. And I kind of agree. If you look at the patterns of what what it is, it kind of looks like that is along the lines of like things moving more springtime-ish. So far, since I've been heavily into crypto, I have been through 2 springs and seen the same thing happen where it did. And, our attitudes, yes, it changes drastically because it's fun. I remember, the first time it happened was in 2021, spring of 2021. That was so much fun. That is actually when SafeMoon launched. And so, things were really taking off. Everything and anything, just the weirdest name cryptos were taking off. And it was so, awesome. And then 2022, the spring actually was pretty fun too. And attitudes changed. And so just based off of the patterns I've seen so far, yes, I think spring will be fun, but we will be trading sideways as we did these last 2 years for 6 to 8 months. And then, it's really, I really think then it's going to take off, but I could be wrong.
For sure. We all
because
could
like
be.
Greg says, anything can happen in the world of crypto. So
Yeah.
And it just all depends on regulations and stuff.
Yeah.
We know those are coming. So how, that can change everything. We just don't know.
Hopefully that changes it for the best. When we get into that, we'll see.
I mean, of course.
Because I think when the next bear market or the next bull market hits, the true bull market hits, if we start seeing all-time highs again in things, and if the historical data is accurate of how much higher it's going to be, people that are invested now, people that have been investing since 2021, they're going to have some fun but hard decisions to make, which is good.
Really hard
because they're going to have a lot of zeros in those accounts, and it's going to be like, do I just sell it all and put it in fiat? Do I try to sell just reflections? You know, but there's going to be times to take money out, and it's not even going to affect the market because people are just going to be buying in. And I believe that SafeMoon is perfectly perched in a spot to be able to benefit from that bull market just as much or more so than other tokens. Price alone is going to put them in a spot where people are going to go, why wouldn't I spend $500 on this? It doesn't cost $15,000 to buy. I can still get a few thousand of them for $100 or whatever the price may be, kind of like Doge was at 2 cents. Even when Doge was at like 10 cents, people were still buying it because you could get more than one. A lot of investors that we know don't ever put any money into Bitcoin because they can't get one. And there's something psychological about only being able to afford a fraction of a token. So I think SafeMoon is set pretty good and when it comes to all that stuff, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Everybody says it. I would just piggyback on that. Hold if you can, but you do, if you've got families and you've got things that you got to take care of, you've got to do what you've got to do. And at least for the four of us, we'll still love you anyways, no matter what that means, But there's no reason to be jumping on your fellow man whenever he has to sell for a reason you may not even know. So I hope that the tone is way different this spring, but I think this time next year we're going to be very, very excited because think about all the innovations that could be happening by then too, or regulations.
Oh, I know.
I mean, there could be some really positive things come out of regulations. Regulations have this negative tone to them, but when it comes to finances, regulations a lot of times is what allows the people with way more zeros in their bank accounts that makes them go, okay, I'll invest in this now because they're not going to put that money at risk. So anybody else have anything else to want to say?
No, let the good times roll.
Absolutely. You're like a walking jukebox today, like you're just quoting songs.
Better not go country because that'll kill everything.
Yeah, that's true. That kills spaces. So, well, Holly, the floor is yours for the Hollitivity segment.
Oh, yay. So today I am choosing to highlight Rob Scram I Am. I love his name on Twitter. His handle is Rob Scram 420, but his name is amazing because it's Rob Scram and then it's a little eyeball and am. So I just love it. But Rob, he's been, just in the community, not so, I'm not going to say just the SafeMoon community, but he has just been in the community for as long as I can remember. And he's always just so positive and he just posts the best quotes all the time. And I just, they help me more than I think he even knows. When I asked him, if I could use this specific tweet for Hollitivity, he was like, of course, absolutely, anytime, use whatever you want. But he has just always been just somebody who I look forward to his posts every day because he does post like the best quotes, and he is just so supportive of just people in general. So I felt like I just needed to highlight him, and I ran across this tweet specifically, and it is just a meme actually, and it says why you should be kind to people, and it's a circle of someone's life and there's a little tiny dot that says what you actually know about. So that's something that we continuously talk about on this podcast, specifically Hollitivity, and we know a tiny little fraction of people's lives outside of Twitter. We don't know what they go through. We don't know if they're having a good day or a bad day, we only see what they post on Twitter. So that's just, it is important, again, to be kind to people because you don't know. And I feel like, with everything going on this week, there has been a lot of negativity flying around. And it just makes me so sad because I kid you not, you guys, I had a hard time this week finding a post to highlight and somebody to highlight because it was a lot of negativity. And I'm trying, I try really hard to do that timeline cleanse and stuff and make sure that it just seems like the people who, have been the positive ones have taken a little turn. And I feel like we all need to get back on track because, the people you are going after or being negative towards, you have no idea what their day was like or what their lives are like.
Mm-hmm.
So
no, I think you are 100%
it's been rough
correct.
this week.
Yeah, and we can all do better. No matter who is listening to this, everyone could do something to impact that, and we could all do something better. So that's it's perfect timing too. People ask all the time, why do you guys do what you guys do? And the main reason is we want to give people a different space, a different place. If you need a break from checking the charts and you want to laugh a little bit, come check us out. Just a different vibe than what's out there. Our goal in all of this is to get to a point where we can do giveaways, we can give back to the community. This isn't about chasing clout. This isn't about being better than anybody else. This is about just helping the community out. That's the whole goal. Right. That's why we do what we do.
We like crypto. We like to have fun.
Yeah.
And we like to be genuine.
Yeah.
That's important.
Absolutely.
Crypto can do whatever, but at the end of the day, who we are, is what matters.
Absolutely. Even if it just tanked and went away, we're still left with us, right? If crypto wasn't a thing anymore, I would hope that we could still be, Holly, you would still be our friend. We've met
absolutely.
so many cool people through this too, you know, whether it be on Twitter or guests that have come here. And all we want to do with all of this is to help where we can, give back to the community where we can. And I think that we can all do a better job. No matter if you're the most positive person, there's something you can do. If you're the most negative, obviously there's something you can do. So I think that
bless their heart.
Bless their heart.
Yeah.
I think that tweet came at a perfect time, Holly, for sure. So let's give him a round of applause.
Yeah.
Yay, Rob.
Scram I am.
All right.
Rob Scram I am. He's amazing.
I can just think
if you guys don't follow him, please do, because he does. He posts the best stuff. I had a hard time when I was looking through his feed on which one I chose. And I know the one I chose is just so simple, but I just felt like it was the most impactful for, especially this week.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, normally I get a chance to check it out before we film the podcast to see if we are following them, because there's so many people on Twitter that I know sometimes we don't follow them. And but this morning was crazy, because along with the bulldozing, somebody came in here and had to take a bunch of pictures.
Yeah.
And so I didn't get a chance, but if we aren't, we will be. So.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't let you see it. So
I suggest it.
I wasn't going to let you see it.
Because you're a jerk.
Well, hey.
Oh my gosh.
You just place your calculator.
Great. Let's move on to the next segment.
No.
You have to push the button.
You gotta push the button.
All right, let's go.
Do your job. It's time for Caleb's
I feel
choice.
like we need music over here.
His rules. Well, we could get some music.
Greg can do it.
Well, I thought you were gonna I don't know.
Wait, you want me to go country on you?
I was not expecting that.
What do you want? Want some Luke Bryan?
Yeah, we're going to get banned from YouTube for copyright violations.
Right.
Some of the simplest things we've posted before that people actually paid attention to what we were doing. You get YouTube emails going, you can't post that because of some background that was on the TV, like the noise or
Oh,
something.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, what? What are you talking about? There's music in that. And you go back and you can barely hear it. I was like, oh, okay. So then you had to edit out those 12 seconds. It was so weird.
Well, Holly could just sing us a song.
True.
There you
You
go.
could just sing.
Here. You ready? Let's
Oh,
go.
oh, Lord, I don't want to hear all that.
Oh, all right, we're ready. I'm just joking. All right, sorry.
All right,
Go ahead.
Caleb.
Wait,
What? Dude, were you gonna sing?
what are we doing? I'm so confused right now.
Oh, Caleb's choice.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
okay.
question time.
Unless you wanted to sing,
You
then
can
we were
sing if
gonna
you want.
pause everything.
No.
Yeah, we will shut this down and let you sing.
No.
If you sing, we don't have to eat these.
No, all right, no, we're eating those, so let's get on with
Greg
it.
will eat him regardless because he's
That's
weird.
true.
I know, he's so excited.
I know. It's
Yep.
it's
It looks like catfish
It's
bait.
sickening.
Stink bait.
All
and
right.
you've always
the-
wanted to eat stink bait.
I always wanted to like taste it just to see what.
Yeah, you're not weird at all,
No, that's
Greg. Not at all.
Ask your question.
All right. First question of the day.
We have derailed.
I don't have an answer for it because I don't
What?
know.
Oh, we don't know what
So
it is.
on-
but
on the
earlier
pick
you're
your
like,
brains.
these are easy, gonna be easy today.
Yeah,
Wait,
he
what?
promised it was going to be
Chris
easy.
is on a roll today.
Yeah. Caleb, take care of our light work.
Okay. First question of the day is: what's the difference between soup and cereal?
Soup and cereal?
It's the same thing.
What the hell's going
Depends on
on?
how long the
No,
cereal
not
sits.
necessarily. Cereal is, I mean, like, are we talking about milk cereal? Like,
It could
you
be
know, because
Oatmeal, though. I mean, it could be any.
no, see, then no. Okay, so the difference between like oatmeal cereal and soup is there's broth, right?
I would think
Some
the
people-
milk
Kind
would
of
be.
broth.
True, but some people like to have it runny.
But like regular
Milky.
cereal, and one's hot, one's cold. I mean, there's a lot of differences
Yeah.
But you can have cold soups.
depending on the cereal.
That's
Cold-
true. They do
They
serve
have cold soups and they
at
have hot
restaurants,
cereals, and
but they're
What?
fancy name
What
soups.
cold?
And I will-
Wait, what cold soup is
I
there?
can't think of it right now. But there are cold soups.
There's
Because
fancy
there's
restaurants
not.
that serve
You
You
cold
guys are
soups.
just not warming it up.
I feel like he just made
They're
that
just being
up.
lazy.
No, there are cold soups,
I think the difference is
Hey.
There's
milk.
cold soups because I said so.
but you have milk and like
Put ice in it.
creamy soup.
We're gonna fight
Well,
today,
no,
aren't we?
It depends on how long the cereal sits in the milk. Then it becomes soup.
That's chunky.
But
right.
cereal is just cereal by itself without
That
milk.
was just a question that popped up that I didn't know the answer to. We'll go to the next one.
These are gonna be easy today.
All right.
You have to buy lunch now.
Okay.
If you could own a pro sports team, what team would it be and why?
Wait, oh, there she is.
Ooh,
Okay.
I got mine.
Yeah, go ahead,
Go
Holly.
ahead.
Oh, it's a hands down the Los Angeles Rams. And not only because they're my favorite team, but because they have Aaron Donald and he is so good.
Oh!
Not for long. I bet he retires at the end of this year. That's my guess.
You think so?
Yep, that's
I
my
don't
guess.
think so. I think he has like
How much safer do
I
you
will
wanna
be
bet on it?
heartbroken. I will be heartbroken.
It was rumored last year.
He
He
was
was
But like
retired.
the funny thing about Aaron Donald, so I just like his personality is pretty cool because I follow him, and I didn't really look at him a certain way until he was a Sports Illustrated issue. I was like, holy crap.
That's Sports Illustrated.
I think he's married and I think he has kids, so not that
Sounds like
I would ever
that
get
may
a
not
chance
matter.
to meet him. No, it absolutely does. But I always thought, like, you see these defensive players and you think they're like chunky, right?
Like,
This
ripped.
guy is ripped.
Yeah,
And I
he's a
mean, like,
beast.
holy crap. I would have never, yeah, he's really good looking.
She's dreaming.
Yeah,
Wow.
She's dreaming
We're
right
gonna
now.
have to
Look
change
at
the
her.
subject.
Yeah, Josh
Yes.
Bullied.
And then, of course, you have Cooper Kupp that's on there, and I just really like him. And
Kupp.
Sean McVay, like, to be the coach, he's awesome. There's just so many reasons I would choose the Rams. And then, they're my team. So,
Yeah.
So who's going to choose the Chiefs so they can stomp the Rams?
I feel like we were all thinking the same thing.
Not me.
Oh.
No, you can have the Chiefs. That's who you're going to go with, right?
Well, of course.
I've always wanted, if I had an insane amount of money, to own a baseball franchise.
That's what I think.
And I
figured
would
you'd
buy
go
the
baseball.
Kansas City Royals.
Yeah,
and turn them into a perennial powerhouse. So, SafeMoon, get to about $10,000 a token, and I'll be able to afford to win a bunch of World Series championships
There
in
you go.
Kansas City.
Yeah.
I actually have that shirt on today.
Oh yeah.
You do.
Yeah, it was a good time when we finally got good again.
I'm gonna guess yours. It's gonna be. Is it basketball?
It is basketball.
It's the Bulls, isn't it?
The Bears.
It'd be the Kings.
The
The
Kings.
Sacramento Kings, you bring them back to
Bring
Kansas
back
City.
Kansas City and then make them better because they suck.
You know, most people now don't remember that they started or they were in Kansas City.
yeah.
But they moved to Sacramento in what, the early 80s?
Early 80s.
Mid
Didn't know
80s?
that.
Yeah, they played at Kemper Arena forever.
We saw Barkley play there.
Yeah, we
Something
saw
else.
Charles Barkley play there.
When
I'm
he's
pretty
like a
young
rookie
though,
or
so
something.
I might not have been born. I don't know.
You weren't.
You
yet.
probably weren't.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that.
All right. So this next question is from my daughter. She wanted to know what your guys' favorite vegetable was.
Vegetable.
Oh, that's a hard one for me.
I'll say asparagus.
Wow, you just jumped right in it.
Olive oil, salt and pepper. That's good.
Asparagus is
Yeah, that is good.
good.
Do I look like I eat vegetables?
Yeah, he's kind of fruity, so I don't know.
Fruits and vegetables are not my thing. But I actually, for saying that, broccoli is probably my favorite vegetable. As weird as that is.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
If prepared right, that's pretty good stuff. And apparently it's a superfood. That's probably why I'm so awesome, Greg.
Oh Lord. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, here it goes.
See what happens when we don't have a guest?
Yeah.
A sneak peek into the daily life of the
Getting out of
Crypto
hand.
Bros.
It's getting out of hand.
Whoa.
All right, Holly.
You're up, Holly.
So-
What's yours?
I'm torn between broccoli and green beans. I love both of them a lot. Broccoli is definitely a prepared thing, but green beans, I guess I'm gonna go with green beans because I can eat them plain with butter, with pepper and butter, with pepper, butter, salt. Like, yeah, I'm gonna go with green beans.
Whatever you want to
Amen.
With steak.
All that.
With alligator jerky.
I'm gonna go with potato.
But yeah, but I mean, I can just sit there and eat regular green beans and I would be just fine with nothing. So, and broccoli, I can't do that. Like, I need
True. You need something else
something.
with it.
Like, I can't just pop a broccoli in my mouth and be okay. I would need to dip it in ranch, or I need
Cheese.
cheese on it, or, you know, it
Yeah.
needs to be
You can say
roasted. Yeah.
potato. I'll allow
I can say potato.
it. Yeah.
Did you veto his potato
Oh, it's a
vote?
bit-
That's not considered a vegetable.
What is it?
A
No,
starch.
it's a fruit, right?
Potato?
A potato?
It's considered a starch in the kitchen.
No, but it's
It's still a vegetable.
but I
a
feel, what is the weird?
No.
Oh, a tomato. I'm thinking
Tomato,
Tomato.
Just
yeah.
kidding.
Tomato.
Yeah.
All right.
Edit that out. They're gonna be like,
Nope.
Holly thinks a potato is a fruit.
Nope,
No,
we're leaving it.
All right, maybe.
tomato.
It'll save you from
Cucumber.
having another 10-hour space.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, cucumber.
Cucumber. All right.
Pickles.
There you go.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Pickles.
Yeah, pickles.
Today you would say pickles.
I love pickles.
Yeah, you would.
All right.
Oh.
My last question for today. You're remodeling a room in your house. What are you going to put in it? What are you going to do with your new remodeled room?
Oh.
Does it matter which room?
Nope.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
I would do like a basement, like a big area, and make it like a. I wrote it all down because I do like a wet bar. I would have Papa Shop basketball, skee ball. I'll make a mini
Man
arcade,
Oh.
a theater room, and then a podcast room.
I was gonna say I'm remodeling
Yeah,
a
you make
basement.
our-
I'm putting a podcast
Yeah.
room in it.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, my house doesn't have a basement. It sits on a concrete slab.
And
So.
I don't have a house right now, so
Yeah, so
that's a dream.
that's what I would do though,
Yeah.
because we need a podcast room.
There we go.
Oh.
Is yours gonna have a? That's not appropriate for the podcast. Never mind.
What?
I don't, that's not the old school
Right there.
arcade.
Oh my
See what I gotta
god.
deal with? See this crap?
Go ahead, give us your answer. Because if you don't come up with one, I'm gonna give you one.
I don't know. I'm trying to think. I'd probably deck it up with. What? I knew you.
You guys.
No,
Sean
I
and
don't know. I
Ryan
got
do
a
that.
theater room. I mean, I'd maybe soup it up just a little more. Maybe put some arcade stuff in it.
Stand-up arcade games. That'd be
Yeah,
cool.
pinball
Stand-up
machine.
I'd love to have old school arcade.
Yeah, something retro, more
Yeah.
retro.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Holly, what about you?
Yeah. So Definitely, I would remodel a room in my house for a luxurious closet. I want one so bad, and it's so tempting just to steal a room and say, forget the guests. Who needs guests in the house? And,
Closet.
Amen.
into a closet.
Okay.
So is your closet going to be so big that you need one of those ladders like in the libraries where they like roll around?
Ooh.
For my shoes, probably, because I literally, shoes are my jam. I love heels, especially because I think I am so accustomed to heels because I'm so tiny that I need some height, so I wear them often. So yeah, I have crazy amount of shoes that I would probably need a ladder.
So, but your shoes can't take up that much space, right? You surely got tiny little feet.
But you guys, I am one of those people that likes to keep my shoes in the box and take a Polaroid picture and put them on the, on the top. I am that crazy. And it's just because I don't want to mess up my shoes, or I don't. It's just an organization thing. Yeah. Even just thinking about not doing it is stressing me out. So yeah, I'm that person.
I'm the guy that thinks everything has a place and it should be in that place all the time unless you're using it. So I could completely get behind your shoebox idea.
Yep.
So how many pairs of shoes do you have?
Oh gosh.
That's what I was wondering.
If you've lost count, it's a lot.
I would have to say I'm definitely in the hundreds of shoes.
Woo. Wow.
Yeah, because I mean any color, I am if I find a shoe that I really, really like, I will get it in every single color because, and I think I have shoes that I've never even worn, but they're super cute, and I just don't have an outfit that would look good with them yet.
So you have hundreds, but you don't have any Crocs?
No, I'm not hundreds. I have over 100.
Okay.
And no Crocs.
Yeah.
No Crocs though.
And not one Croc. No.
Wow.
You should do it for the sake of taking a Polaroid picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? That goes. I guess that total includes tennis shoes too, because I do like to be cute and sporty one day, couple of days, but especially now that I work from home, I'm not going to wear heels around my house. That's weird.
Yeah.
So
who needs heels? Yeah. You got Caleb around.
That's hilarious. All right, Holly, your question.
Yeah. Okay, so I want to know, when is the last time you've literally stopped and smelled the roses?
Oh, literally? Oh.
Literally. Or the flowers. It doesn't necessarily have to be roses.
It doesn't have to be roses.
That's pretty recent, actually. Maybe 3 weeks ago. I got some flowers for little girl's birthday, and I smelled them.
Aww.
That's good.
That is cute.
I can't say the exact day, but it's probably been within the last 3 months. I like the way flowers smell. So if there's flowers around or something like that, I'll stop and smell them.
Probably last month, my daughter won Homecoming Queen. She got a lot of flowers, so we put that in a vase and smelled those.
She did.
What about you?
Yeah.
It was literally last weekend. My daughter had homecoming, and it was actually her first date and everything, and so I had to get a boutonniere for her date. And yeah, I smelled them, which is funny because I hate the way that roses smell specifically.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of roses.
But I smell them just in case, there's a funky smell, so that, I don't want, for whatever reason, I make sure that they don't smell funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had to get a boutonniere, and it was a rose. It was super pretty, or handsome, I guess. I don't, however you would call it for a boy, okay?
Yeah, handsome.
It's fancy.
Yeah.
So, Holly, let me ask you a question. Are you the type of person, whenever you smell something that's weird, that you're like, oh, smell this. This smells horrible?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I feel like if I'm going to have to suffer, you should have to suffer.
No, not me. I throw that in the trash.
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
And why would I want my friends to have to smell like just funk?
Why not? I'm just
Because-
like when we came back with the drink. That
Well,
one
yeah,
time. It was
it
nasty.
gets
It's
It's
a
nasty.
validation. It's
Yes.
also a validation that it
No.
does in fact smell funny.
Yeah.
Like,
Caleb
is it
already
just me or
validated
does
it though.
No, Holly gets it.
Greg
No.
and I
So
went
odd one
to
out.
Home Depot and grabbed some stuff, and then we stopped by Wendy's and got a drink, and the machine was broken, which we didn't realize. We tasted it. It was funky. I made Greg taste it.
I was like, yeah,
then
give
we
me that.
came
I
back
got
to the office and had Josh taste
Yeah,
it.
they already validated it.
And he
I didn't
hated
need
it.
to validate that it
Yeah, you
tasted
did.
funky.
He was
I don't-
angry about it.
I just love you guys more than you love me. I guess. I got your best interest at heart.
I got your best interest at heart.
You guys just want me to suffer.
You guys just want me to
Well,
suffer.
yeah. That's
Yeah,
what family's
yeah.
for.
It's family. That's what family does.
Right, I kind of agree. Yeah, sorry, Josh.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then guess what,
When we
Holly?
fall, we fall together.
We're gonna make you eat bad things.
Yes.
So this week we have sour pickle balls, which I didn't really think would be horrible
Yeah.
until they come two to a
It's
package,
gonna be bad.
and when we took the plastic off the first package, it reeked. Oh yeah, it smells bad.
So I have a question. Is this like a candy?
I don't know now.
You're gonna share with him. I'll take.
Well,
the whole
there's
bag.
4 of them in there. If you-
Well, and they look, you know what? They look like little
Yeah.
prune balls.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't know
not
if
sure
it's-
these are gummies.
I don't know what they are.
Oh, these are not good looking at all.
Yeah.
Like they look like lumps of coal.
Yeah,
That-
they look
yeah.
really
Like
bad.
what you'd get at the rock
Oh
museum or
my
something.
gosh, and they
It's-
stink.
And
Like
they
something
do
you get
stink.
Branson.
Yeah, it says from the Alamo Candy Company,
This might be
the
worse
great
than
taste
last
of
one.
Texas, made in
This
San
is the
Antonio.
great taste of Texas,
This
y'all.
is nasty.
Is this like that Mexican candy?
No, it's
It's got that spice.
just
Oh, it kind of has. It stinks.
Yeah.
It smells like pickled Mexican candy.
Yes.
it
yes.
says "Say
It's
no
got
to
that-
drugs" on the back.
It could be worse than
Oh,
this.
yeah.
Yeah.
nasty.
Does
drugs.
it really?
Yeah, at the top right.
Oh, it does. Say no to drugs, but
well,
eat
I
sour
mean-
pickle balls.
Thanks for the reminder.
Eat our nasty pickle sour balls.
Yeesh.
Yeah,
Well, it
it
can't
has
be.
that like Mexican
Yes.
that you know the chili
Yep, the
stuff
chili
they
candy
put on the
powder,
Mexican
yeah.
candy.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Along with
sparkly though. So
Are we eating the whole
I
thing
think
or
it's
taking a
that
bite
chili.
of it? Or
Well, actually,
I feel like you just pop it all in your mouth. No, that's what
Okay.
I was gonna
Yes.
do.
Alright.
There we go.
I mean, we can totally just take a bite, but
All we
no,
know
no.
is
If we're
you
gonna eat the
suffer
whole,
together.
if we're gonna eat the whole chip,
I
we
don't
might
think
as
I'm
well
gonna
eat
like
the
this.
sour
Fun
pickle ball.
fact: if it is Mexican, like that Mexican, I don't like it. I don't eat Mexican candy because of that.
Yeah, I don't like it either.
I've never had Mexican candy. I don't think so.
Yeah, I'll have to send you guys some. We
All
have
right.
it everywhere.
3,
All right, cheers.
2, 1. Oh my
it's
god!
terrible.
I can't swallow
What the hell?
that.
I think I'm gonna lose my shit right now.
I spit mine out. That's freaking horrible. What the hell is that? Ugh.
I don't have anything to spit mine out. Look!
Ugh. Yeah. Green tongue. That.
Oh,
That's
That might be
Mexican
worse than
candy.
it's so sour.
That's
Okay, remember when I
nasty.
said there's nothing worse than a one chip challenge?
Mm.
Guys, that's horrible.
That's not.
I just
I
don't
have
like the
never,
right straw.
I have never spit anything
Caleb
out that
spit
was
it out.
tried
That's
before.
gross.
I didn't spit it out.
I
I
don't have
did.
anywhere to spit it out.
I had this cup, and you want to see what it looks like?
That was really, really bad.
That was Mexican
Why did
candy.
we eat the whole thing?
No, I spit it
No,
out.
I spit it out.
Greg
It's
ate it.
horrible.
I ate it all.
There's some more.
Oh, my stomach is really turning.
Yeah, that's really
Your
bad.
teeth are green.
You know what?
Everything.
Yeah, my fingers are green.
Next week needs to be candy, like
Yeah,
sweets.
can we just do
That
something
was
cool
okay.
next week?
cookies
That's like,
or something?
yeah, let's
Yeah.
just have like Oreos, just regular old Oreos.
Oh.
I ate all
That's
mine,
bad.
but I'm definitely not gonna have another one. That was not that.
There's
good.
the test right there. If Greg won't have seconds, it sucks.
Yeah, that's
Oh, my
That's
teeth are green.
really, really bad.
Yeah.
Like,
ugh.
that's like Mexican candy.
You know what? I'm kind of glad that Dan didn't have to eat that because I don't know Dan that well, and I really like his
That was
project,
bad.
and he was supposed to eat that with us. Actually, I'll DM him and go,
Oh.
Dan, those are awesome. You should share them with your kids.
I would say that's probably the worst. I think that was worse than all the sodas and.
Oh yeah, guys.
Okay, I can agree.
That's right up there with
feel
one chip
like my
challenge.
stomach is not feeling right.
No, that was bad.
I will be completely honest with you. I think if I would have eaten that whole thing, I would be in the bathroom right now. I had to spit that out. That's how bad that was.
I didn't have
Texture,
anywhere.
flavor.
Like I looked for something, and I don't have anything. And then I look like a friggin' green machine right now.
Kinda.
Spit out
Halfway.
pretty quick.
Yeah.
Every time I open my mouth, I feel like my mouth is like beaming green.
It is.
That was really bad. Whose choice was this? Because I feel like
I don't remember who DM'd that to us. One of your friends. You need to get new friends, Holly.
I need new friends because, like,
That was bad.
I'm telling you, because yesterday when we were on that space, they were like, you know, we're trying really hard to get Holly to walk off the podcast.
I know.
You guys don't want me on here anymore?
I heard that. They're
what is
like, yo,
happening?
based on the taste test, you need to get her something where she's like, nope, I quit, I'm out.
Yeah.
You have to take Holly
Yeah.
off the board. But they really wanted you to eat pickled pig's feet.
Yeah, I can't. I just don't think I can. And then Brian's like, I'll come on there if it's chocolate tarantula.
There we go.
What have we become?
Oh.
We're like a science experiment
like
now.
they're just not like this is not fair. They're really trying to just get me to be like, I quit. I'm done. Oh, my stomach is not right.
Oh yeah, man. Sorry.
Yeah,
Hopefully that
sorry.
didn't pick up on that mic, but
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
No.
It is kind of bleh.
I didn't even swallow that, and it's still like.
Did you eat it all, Holly?
I ate it all.
Good. See?
I ate it all.
I
I
will
didn't
stop.
have anywhere
Sorry.
to fit it.
I am 100% sure if I would have eaten that whole thing, I would be puking my guts up in the
Let me
bathroom.
see your guys' tongues. Are they? Yours isn't at all. Yours is a little bit. Greg's is like pretty bad. Mine is horrible.
I got the full effect of the taste and spit that thing out.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Oh my gosh, you know what? I just realized they're going to post me sticking out my tongue with it being red or green
Yeah.
because the blue one's out there everywhere.
You're going to be an NFT series someday.
Yeah. Yeah.
Of all the different tongue colors.
That's what we should do is turn those tongue colors into NFTs and sell them for charity. That's what we should do with them. Would you be good with that, Holly?
Jeez.
I should put a little Kermit in the corner.
Well, I guess that is it for today. I'm sorry I didn't realize the sour pickle balls would be that bad. I like pickles. So I thought, oh yeah, this would be way better.
No.
For me,
Those are
No.
nasty.
that was one chip challenge, sour pickle balls, like right below it.
Yeah.
You know what? I feel the same way. I think because of the way my stomach feels. Like
Yeah.
I feel the same way right now. Like I'm
can
not
still
great.
Taste it.
It's
Like,
it's not
yeah.
good.
I'm sorry you had to eat the whole thing, Holly, because I could not. There's no way.
I didn't like that.
I honestly didn't think it was going to be this bad.
For
No.
people
Like
that
I'm ill.
for people that don't realize how bad it is, please remember that this dude last week ate the one chip challenge and had no issues, and you spit that
Yeah,
out.
Yeah,
that's the
gross.
first time I think you.
You spit it out.
Yeah, Caleb spit it
I
out.
did.
Have you ever spit anything out?
What the heck?
That's the first time.
That's first time for me too. I could not do it. I was really afraid if I swallowed that, I was going to be puking on camera.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah,
That's bad.
it does make your stomach feel a little weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's end it on that high note.
All right. I won't lie, my
Yeah, I
stomach's
don't
kind
feel
of
great.
No.
Yeah. Okay. So next week we will have a guest. Can we say who it is, or do we need to wait?
I think we should, just because I feel like people want to know, and then they get excited to watch it.
Okay. So you go ahead and announce who our guest is going to be next week.
So I'm so excited. Our next guest is Jeremiah from the water cooler.
Yeah. That's going to be super fun.
Excited.
Yeah. Super
Yeah,
fun.
he's super fun. So I feel like we need to find something good for him to eat. Yeah.
We'll have to get on that.
And
Yeah.
no, not mustard pizza, because he already likes that. Like, we should have saved pickleballs for Jeremiah.
Yeah. That's
You know, I'm super stoked to talk to him because I've been in a lot of his spaces, but never went up and talked to him. You know, I've always sat in the background of that space. So it's
awesome.
and I love his space. So that'll be a lot of fun for sure.
Yeah.
So, well, guys, have a great weekend.
Yeah.
God bless.
Yes.
Yeah.
Be kind.
Kind.
Oh,